Okay.
Hey, this is Brian.
It's Andrew again. Welcome to episode 3. Hopefully episode 2 will be out by the time this one comes out. I'm getting lazy as fuck on that. Yeah, episode 3, Jam Factory podcast. Oh boy, I'm excited. I don't know. I'm like a level 5 right now to 10.
Yeah, I'd say like 5.5 for me. You know, I'll give myself that extra 0.5.
I had a nice gulp of water, so I'll give it a 0.5.
Yeah. So do you wanna kick it off with that Deafheaven show you saw?
Fuck yes. Yeah, so I saw Deafheaven on their tour supporting the new album Ordinary Corrupt Human Love. They were at like, you know, a medium-ish venue. I don't know. It was basically like a nightclub turned into a fucking mosh pit. Yeah, so they were touring with Uniform and Drab Majesty, which I didn't really know anything about at the time. So I kind of went in blind. Obviously, I was just waiting for Deafheaven to show up. So yeah, Uniform get on, and the first thing that clicks for me is holy fuck, they're so loud. Cause they were like a I don't know if you've heard of them. They're I think they're from America somewhere. I don't fucking know. But they were kind of convergy in a way. They were really just hardcore, just high energy, crazy shit. Which was surprising for me because I thought they were gonna get like a lot of, you know, just like middle of the mid-range like rock bands and like maybe even some like black metal shit. But yeah, these were like some hardcore dudes, like Jesus. And yeah, they were so loud. Holy shit. It was just 3 dudes. Guitar player, drummer, and a singer in quotation marks. Yeah, it was just like, Jesus fuck, my ears are bleeding already. I mean, not in like a ow kind of way, but like a holy shit, I can feel everything in my chest. So yeah, they were a really good opener. Obviously, I didn't recognize any of the songs, and to be completely fair, the songs kind of all sort of sounded the same. But that's how it is, I guess, with acts like that.
Yeah.
Then Drab Majesty were next, which they're like, have you listened to Depeche Mode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're kind of like Depeche Mode, except a little bit more like spacey and shit, if that makes any sense. Like tons of reverb, tons of just, you know, kick drum, drum machines shit, because it's just 2 dudes. And they were...
Are those the dudes in like the white makeup?
They wear white wigs and like sunglasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's probably who you're talking about. I don't know about makeup. I couldn't really tell. But it was funny because when they got on, someone in the audience was like, "Wow, is this old man's Depeche Mode?" Because they look old with the white wigs. Yeah, they were good, but it was weird because I didn't go there for that type of music, so it was kind of strange to me to have something so kind of, you know, mid-level energy when I was already pumped up after just, you know, 40 minutes of kick your fucking rib cage in, you know. So it was a bit bizarre, but I kind of liked it because it was like, you know, a peak of just craziness, and then like kind of a lull in the middle with a kind of build up, which I think we kind of talked about that in the last one, which may or may not see the light of day at this point. How I think it was it Mastodon when you saw there was some like heavy group, then there was like Oh Brother or something, and then there was whoever the fuck it was at the end.
Oh yeah, it was Dillinger. It was like a tech death band, a really cult leader, which is like a really heavy hardcore band, which They're fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
And then O Brother played, which is amazing too. But you know, they were the nice kind of break, kind of chill out. You know, you're not moshing. You're kind of just sitting in awe of like this like really pretty pretty music. And then fucking Dillinger kicks your teeth in.
Oh yeah, Dillinger. Fuck. Did they open with Prancer?
No, they opened with One of Us is the Killer. Or no, not One of Us is the Killers. Limerick Death.
Oh. Oh yeah, because that just kicks off with a.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god, it was fucking badass. Like the second they kicked in, just everything erupted. It was so cool. What kind of did you see? Were the dudes in Deafheaven, were they using the Dunables or were they using the Les Pauls? Because I recently saw them with like the 2018 sunburst or like cherry sunburst Les Pauls.
Oh yeah. So I was closer to Shiv. Is it Shiv or Shiva? Oh, Shiva, whatever.
I believe it's Shiv.
Okay. Anyway, he was using. I wasn't paying as much attention this time as I was during Converge because I was fucking going ham. But so I was pretty much right up at the stage, but I was like kind of off center by quite a bit, so I was pretty much right underneath Shiv. And he played that one you're talking about. Like I think it was a cherry burst or sunburst. I couldn't quite tell. It was pretty dark. Les Paul for a good bit, and then I could sort of see Carrie off to the side, like on the complete opposite end of the stage, and he was playing like his Dunables that he gets from Sasha. I can't remember the stacks they had. It was
I believe they were a PV. I believe
yeah,
they used
it was
6505.
It was. Yep. Yeah, I remember now because I remember seeing it and being like, that's that shit Brian has.
Yeah, I have the Plus and they have like the regular 6505. The difference between the Plus and the 6505 is separate EQs for the two channels.
Ooh, I mean they would need that, right? So.
Oh well, they use the regular 6505 because it's a little bit looser sounding.
They wouldn't need that.
Yeah, they're pretty. Yeah, they don't really need to like EQ a specific clean and a specific dirty.
No,
because a lot of their stuff is effects and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But
fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, so yeah, Drab Majesty or whatever. It's kind of. If I'd been in more of the mood, oh fuck, that spiked really loud when I just coughed. If I'd been more in the mood for that type of music, like if I was going to see, like Depeche Mode or like Daft Punk or something, maybe that would have hit a little harder. But again, it was kind of just a nice breather from just crazy insanity from the first bit. Yeah, and then Deafheaven, for fuck's sakes, they took forever to come on. They, I think Drab Majesty finished at like 10, and Deafheaven didn't come on till like 11 or 11:15. We're like, God damn it, where are these dudes? But when they came on, Jesus fuck, everything just exploded into just, because they opened with one of the new ones. I think it was Honeycomb. Which doesn't even start off super crazy anyway, but then it goes into whatever. I'm not singing that accurately at all, but I get the idea.
It's all good. Yeah, I wish I could have saw them, especially since the first, they were playing that album, that first night. I wish I could have saw them, but I had work, sadly.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it made me really depressed. Hopefully I can catch them on the next time. The next time they come around my place. Since we were talking about 5150s, let's talk about like what's some of your favorite amps?
Ooh, fuck, like heads or cabs or just like stacks in general.
Let's go into heads first, and then we'll break down into cabs.
Okay. Um, shit, I don't know models like that. That's kind of my problem.
Mm.
There was one that I kept going back to at my guitar shop nearby. It was a it was a Mesa Boogie. I just don't remember what it was, because again, I don't really pay attention to that shit. I'm just like, oh cool, Mesa. I like Mesa.
Mm.
uh,
Did it have like a graphic EQ on it?
No.
I think. Let me see.
I think it was
So you're
used, so
probably-
it might have been an old thing.
I think I might know what you're talking about. Let me look. Yeah, if I go, I think you might be talking about, not a Mark. Maybe like a Rosette or something like that, or
Maybe,
a Lone
I
Star.
don't know.
That or maybe a Lone Star.
I think it might have been the Lone Star. That rings a bell. Again, I don't read the tags, mostly because I don't want to see the price.
I
So,
don't
like,
blame you.
I don't even want to look, especially here, for fuck's sakes. Stuff gets hiked up the price, A, because it's Canada, and B, because it's a ridiculous big city and they can hike up prices.
Yeah, that's the worst part about that shit. I don't know. The beauty about America is consumerism, so most stuff is pretty cheap, or like cheaper. I really like boogie stuff. I don't know. I feel like the only thing that I don't like about boogie is with their gain. I feel like they're a lot more like diverse. Like boogies can do a lot more stuff, but they don't. To me, they're more of like a looser type gain and not super tight gain.
Mm-hmm.
I like the tight gain of like a 5150. That's my favorite kind of gain. What I like to do is, well, my favorite thing is I like to pair a 5150 and a Marshall together, because you can get that really like tight, super like almost like metalcore-y tech death stuff from the 5150, and then you can like make it like super loud and boomy and sludgy sounding with the Marshall, so you can kind of get that best of both worlds. That's kind of like how I do all of my recordings, and like that's why I picked my PV6505 Plus and the Marshall DSL 100, which surprisingly my Marshall sounds really, the DSL 100 I have sounds really good. There's a lot of them I played that kind of sound pretty just like shit, but for some reason this one sounds really good. I don't know why. I guess it's just luck of the draw kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess you get kind of lucky.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about Orange. Like I like Orange amps, but they're pretty limited. You know what I mean? They can either do like a really good clean or just, I mean, I guess that's the beauty. If you're gonna buy an Orange, you might as well get that Orange sound.
Well, yeah, that's the appeal.
Yeah, I just feel like my kind of thing is like I want to try and get, since I can't afford like 7 or 8 tube amps that can do a bunch of different stuff, I kind of want to try and get like the amps, or I want to get amps that are pretty diverse in what they can do. Like my 5150, granted it doesn't have the best clean tone, but like whenever I turn it onto the crunch channel, I can kind of get like a more Marshall-y, 90s grunge sort of sound, and then I can kick it up into the lead channel, which is that nasty metal sound that you hear on pretty much any album, or, pretty much any metal album ever. Well, I guess after 1992, you can hear, but I don't know. I really like those. I really like the Orange Thunderverb. I like the Rocker Verb pretty good, but the Thunderverb sounds so fucking brutal and just nasty. I love it. Like,
yeah, it gives you that just fuck yeah kind of face.
Yeah, and then I like the OR because it's a nice happy medium between the Rocker Verb and the Thunderverb, where it just has that nice, it's a little bit darker, but a little bit more, it's a little bit darker than the Rocker Verb and a little bit more brighter than the Thunderverb.
Yeah. Speaking of darker, I really do like the dual darks.
Yeah.
I think they look super, like, they just look cool, but also, god damn, they sound ridiculous. Like you just crank. You don't even need to crank it. You just put it on, like, I mean, in the story you can't really crank shit because they'll get mad, but you put it on like a 1 or 2, and it's still just like, yeah, it is tight, I think is the word, but it's also really like, yeah, dark. Fuck, there's no other word to describe it. Like they nailed it with the name.
Yeah. I like. See, my only problem is I'm not like, I like the sound of the of those dark terrors and stuff, but I'm just like, those are some of the exceptions. Like there's some high gain low watt amps that I like, but overall I'm not really a big fan of like anything that's below like 50 watts in like the high gain realm, because it just like, it sounds too compressed and boxy to me, you know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of headroom and stuff, like with like,
Yeah.
Even with a 50 watt it sounds pretty like kind of boxy sounding, but you can still get a good tone. Like 100 watt high gain amp, I mean, obviously that's why everybody, or most people use 100 watts, but it just has that perfect amount of headroom, and just, it's nice, it's loud, but at the same time it's like you can hear everything.
Yeah.
And then I really like, if I was gonna go with clean amps, I would probably go with either a Fender Vibrolux or the Roland Jazz Chorus 40 watt, because those just have like the sparkliest cleans you'll ever hear.
I think for clean I'd go with the bass breaker, the Fender bass breaker, because I think I don't like something with a super lot of treble. A super lot? What the fuck is a super lot? Anyway, with a whole lot of treble. And I think the bass breaker kind of has a nice little middle ground where it sort of just evens everything out. So you're not getting the super, like, I don't know what to call it, the smack of like something like a Stratocaster, which is, probably what those are modeled around, like the Telecaster or the Stratocaster, most likely.
I like hot rod. I like the hot rod deluxes and stuff like that for like more of like a pushed clean, like with a clean with the boost. I don't like them just straight clean. I like, if I was gonna go Fender for straight clean, I would either go like Vibrolux or like the I think it's the Champion. I don't know. It's the really, really tiny tube amp that they have that a bunch of dudes use in like indie bands and shit. I think it's called the Super Champ.
It's the Champion.
Yeah,
I think it's the Champion or something.
Yeah, it's something like that. But I'm more in the high gain realm. I go back and forth on Marshall. Like I'm always kind of a sucker for Marshall, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. Marshall really depends on the guitar. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
If I plug my Telly into the Marshall, it sounds amazing. But if I plug my Strat in, it doesn't sound very good. It just kind of sounds like blech. But I don't know. Marshalls are pretty, like, you have to find. It's a really much like it's a pairing kind of thing. Not every.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think every guitar works with a Marshall. But if you get the right one, most stuff can't beat that sound of the right guitar and the right Marshall put together.
Yeah, honestly, it's like an iconic sort of sound. I feel like for me, when I think high gain, I don't jump to like the tech death stuff and the really heavy like metalcore stuff, even though I'd love to have that, crazy, just soul crushing sound. The reason I like the boogie is because it is a bit looser. Like you said, it's kind of a bit of a free ranger with regards to like versatility and whatnot. Because you can do like my favorite thing to do is to hook up like a big muff, like a Russian big muff or a big muff pie, whatever. Or the what's the thing by Walrus? Shit. Oh, the Iron Horse, the Walrus Audio Iron Horse. God, if you hook that up to a boogie, and even just like the cab doesn't even matter, because I think the one I did was like a Black Star cab. And I don't really like Black Star a whole lot.
Me either.
But it was just a 412, and it just had a really like sludgy's not the right word, because it's like it's crisp, but it's like drony in a weird way. I don't know how to I don't know how to describe it. It's like a
kind of like that
I'm trying to think of like a very
mastodon-y, like high on fire kind of sound.
maybe. I don't know. I was thinking like the weirder like whirly type of stuff you get from Soundgarden mixed with that like grungy Alice in Chains stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of mushed together. But yeah, now that you bring up Mastodon, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, I guess, because it's like feels like there's like a giant like bee slowly going around your head, but also it's like someone's punching you in the face at the same time.
Yeah. A lot of those Soundgarden, like I know the lead guitar player, I can't remember his name. He does he uses boogies. I think he actually uses the Lone Star. I don't know. You can get like a really tight metal sound from a boogie or a triple rectifier, but I don't know. Something about a 5150, just the gain structure I really like. I would love to have like a dual rectifier, and I hopefully will get one someday, but I don't know. If I had to choose, I'd probably choose the 5150 just in general, because I just love you can just plug it in and it's just like, fuck, man.
No, but yeah, I'm with you there. If I were to say right now, okay, I'm going to make a hardcore record, I'm not going to go for Mesa. Like, I'm just not. That's not something I'm going to jump to. I would definitely go to, like, I probably would go, I don't know about 5150. Because just for me, I think they're a bit too tight for me. Maybe that's a dumb complaint from like a metal sound, but I would maybe go, shit, now I put myself on the spot. Maybe I'll go something a little weird, like some, like, kind of not secondhand, what do you call it? Like, not super main brand, like, Gibson and Marshall or whatever, but something like
a Soldano.
Like second tier? Yeah, some kind of like
the more boutique-y kind of.
Not super popular.
Yeah, like a...
Yeah. I would go for something like a Bad Cat or something, maybe.
I would go like Diesel, or if I was going to go super more boutique-y, I would probably go like Diesel or Bogner. Angle actually makes some...
Bogner. I didn't think of Bogner.
Angle makes some really cool amps. Like the Fireball amp sounds really fucking good.
I never played it. Or I'm going to say, is it Morgan?
Yeah.
Morgan makes amps, right? They make some pretty interesting stuff. Just because I know, like, some of the popular choices are, like, big, maybe orange stacks, and, yeah, the 5150s and the PVs, and, I mean, I'm sure some of them use, like, Axe-Effects and Kempers and stuff. But I don't know. I feel like if I were to go sit down and make, like, a hardcore record, I would choose something a little weird and probably play with it a bit. Just to, I don't know, A, just to be stupid and weird, but also B, to probably, like, I don't know, I feel like I'd play with sounds more instead of like, all right, 5150 for a metal record, here we go. Even though it sounds incredible, like, don't get me wrong, like, the 5150 will knock your socks off, but I don't know, I feel like it's a very stereotypical sound at this point that I feel like I would get bored of too quickly. Like, okay, this is high gain, cool, but I want something with a bit more, I don't know, personality maybe?
I definitely get what you're saying. That's why I try and pair it with, like, I guess a Marshall obviously is a super iconic sound, but it does have that more, like, fatter, characteristic-y, more sound, so I like to pair those two to where you can have that, like, because it just gives that, like, really cool, broad range of, like, almost mushy, sludgy, almost fuzzy kind of tone from that Marshall, and then that just cuts you like a knife sound of the 5150.
Mm. Yeah, you would have to mix it with something else. Because, yeah, even if you went into... Ooh, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder what a... Fuck. I wonder what a 5150 mixed with, like, a... like the Mesa Lone Star.
Yeah.
Lone Star? Well, anything. The fucking dual rectifier, whatever. Man, I wonder what that would sound like. Because you get this kind of, like, whirly sort of just... Not whirly. What's the word? Fuck, I can't think of the word to describe
I've actually been thinking about doing that too. Or like kind of what I would do is I would get the boogie, the dual rectifier with the 5150, and then have the second channel on the dual rectifier on the vintage tone, so it kind of has that more martially sound, and then the 5150 have it on the lead channel for my main rhythm, and then for breakdowns or leads have it on the both on the lead channel, and just have that like super like humongous sound. I feel like that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. See, that's the type of thing I would do, just like mix stuff that I feel like wouldn't be super like, yeah, this and this goes together. Like, I don't know, certain things I feel like are kind of like, what? When you try to put them together, that's what I would do.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, that's kind of what I do more with guitars, like using the Fenders for metal stuff, because they have that unique tone that not a lot of metal music has, because you can really get that like tight clarity from a Strat or a Tele, and then you can just you can throw more gain on it and still keep the clarity. You know, like with like having a high output pickup, you can't throw a lot of gain on it or it just starts getting mushy, but having just that clean signal from your strings to your cable, you know, you just have so much clarity and actual characteristics of the wood and the strings and stuff. Yeah. You know, I like even with a humbucker, you'll still get characteristics of the wood and stuff like that, but I feel like it's dulled down a little bit, especially with high output pickups.
Yeah.
But with a single coil, I feel like you really get that snappiness of like a maple body, a maple neck and an alder body. You really get that more of that wood tone and more of the tone of the strings and the tone of your hands more than with a humbucker.
Yeah.
And you can have that clean tone to go straight to your amp, and then just throw up a boost and then dime out the gain, and it'll sound fucking huge and clear.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned the sound of the hands thing, this is something I've been kind of just thinking about for a while, because I think I've just talked about this with you, like, you know, just whenever, like privately, but when I pick, I like really dig into the strings. I think you're the opposite. I think you're pretty light, right?
Yeah, I'd say I'm predominantly light, especially when I practice. When I record, I'm a little bit more heavy-handed, but yeah, overall, I'm a pretty light picker.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like it's a psychological thing for sure. Just like if I really dig into the string, it feels better. Just like do, 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 do. That's also why I'm like kind of shit at, you know, doing really crazy solo stuff. But I mean, I don't play guitar for that reason. I play it just to fucking just smash, just slap people and smash things.
Yeah, I'm kind of both. I like to do the shreddy stuff, and then I like to just do those snappy smash in the face kind of riffs. I don't know. I like to try and bring those two together. I like doing like super sludgy hardcore music, and then bringing like more of like a, you know, like a stupid 80s solo into it, because it just, I don't know. It makes it kind of sound cool. Like it gives like a cool combo to it. I really like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just fucking love that. But I don't know. Lately I've been having trouble like programming drums. I for the life of me I can't program drums, and I don't know why. I don't know. Like, it's weird. I'm trying to hopefully I can find like a drummer or someone to like figure out, or, help me out, or like, I don't know. I've kind of been thinking about maybe just going out and maybe try and like just hire someone and pay them a certain amount to like program the drums for me, and then I can record the rest. I don't know. That's kind of what I've been thinking lately.
Interesting.
It'd get expensive though.
I feel like true. For me, since I don't really have a whole lot of gear where I live right now, so I do a lot of like electronic music, I guess is what you call it. I don't know. And yeah, of course you have to put like that's what drums are, like the heart of that type of music, right? So God, because I don't know, I've been told that this is weird, but I start with the drums for my stuff that I make.
do that too. Usually I'll come up with the riff, and then I'll program the drums first, and then I'll go from there. Or if I'm doing like a gear review, like the YouTube video that I shot, I just wrote a song over the drums. Like that song I didn't write beforehand. I just took Easy Drummer pre-programmed drums and then wrote a song over it.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know.
I think it's smart. I feel like that's how you become a better writer, is if you like, if you're a guitar player, write guitar riffs and then have a drummer make it, or have, do both of having like the drummer write and you write. Because I feel like it just makes you a way better songwriter. I'm not saying I'm an amazing songwriter, but it's definitely like helped me figure out stuff better.
Yeah, like just basically jamming with yourself.
Yeah, and just like, just it helps you like broaden your mind of being like, oh, so this is how a drummer works better. Or, like when I listen to the drums instead of like focusing on the guitar, and it's like, I don't know, that's also a thing. Whenever I sing, I don't listen to the guitar or the bass or anything. I only listen to drums. Because because you can kind of find the melody within the beat, so it makes it interesting to like find the melody within the beat than instead of putting a beat to a melody. I don't know. It's two things that I feel like being a songwriter you should try and kind of explore a bit. Just trying to find, try and understand both a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know is that a common thing? I wonder if that's a common thing, because I don't sing for shit. But like, it's weird, because words. So if I've listened to like some instrumental stuff sometimes, like I'll turn on like a Buckethead album, and it's it's just nothing. It's just him playing over probably a drum machine. And like, I'll just kind of like hum little like in between melodies to it. So I guess that's kind of like thinking of a singing melody, except obviously there's no words because I don't think of anything. But it's just, I don't know, it's interesting to kind of go like na 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 or whatever, to just over whatever's playing in the background, even though it's not mine, obviously.
Yeah. No, I do that all the time, where I'll listen to like an instrumental track and have like either a vocal, like a lyric idea, or just a vocal melody in my head. I don't know. I feel like that's the best way to write, is to listen to the song and kind of just figure out, that's the thing that like I'm starting to learn more theory, but I feel like that's the main problem with a lot of theory dudes. Not every theory dude, obviously, but a lot of them, they just don't listen to their ear. They're just like, all right, this is in this key, so I should use this scale and do this. They don't really listen to their ear, being like, I don't know, this doesn't sound good. Because I've heard so many like of those shred metal bands, like this band called Polyphia that I've actually seen live before. They're not playing music, you know what I mean? They're just like, it's like they're playing a video game, you know what I mean? Where it's just like they're just hitting the notes. They're not making music, it's just hitting notes.
I'd go as far to say it's not so much them playing a video game. Like, I'll take it a step farther. It's them playing a video game. It's like a speedrunner versus someone enjoying the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Or like
I think
they're just trying to get like all the the bare minimum collectibles that you can advance to like see the the true ending or whatever, get 100% completion as fast as possible instead of just like sitting back and like oh, that's a cool background or whatever, or that's a cool enemy design or something, whatever. I don't know. I've been playing too much Skyrim lately.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. If that's like the way you want to make music, that's cool. But like, I just don't like the snooty theory dudes who are like, oh, you don't understand theory like the back of you don't understand theory like the back of your hand. It's like, no, but like at least I can write a song. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
I've gotten the butt of that all the time. Like, I just like get dismissed when it's like, yeah, if I tried to read music now, if you give it to like a sheet of music to me maybe 3 or 4 years ago, like something very simple, like nothing with like on the top of the staff they'll have like which notes are naturals, which notes are all flats or whatever the fuck. If you gave me something kind of simple, I would have been able to tell you, okay, it was A, E, D, G, that's a G chord there, that's a D, A. But it would have taken me damn near half hour. And then, yeah, I'd just get dismissed like, oh, you don't know theory, we'll get someone else. It's like, well, what the fuck? I can play my instrument. Like, I have an understanding of my instrument, and I know how music works. Because, like, I don't know if this is a common thing or not, but, like, I know which notes go with which, even though I don't know what they're called. Like, I know like what a B note sounds like, even if I don't know it's a B note. It can go with like, I don't know, like an F sharp and like a D or something if I play it a certain way. Yeah. Again, that's probably way off, but just like the sound, if I hear two sounds together or 3 or 4 sounds together, I'm like, okay, none of those go together, or okay, I need to add something that sounds like in order to make this work, even though I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, you've just trained your ear. Like, you don't know the circle of this. Like, you don't know the names. I'm the same way, where I don't necessarily know like the circle of this, but I have a general I've trained my ear to the point to where it's like I can hear, oh, this is in this key, or oh, this in that key. Like there will be songs that I'll play like a rap song and be able to play solo in the same key or just in a regular song. It's just, you just have to train your ear, and I feel like that's don't get me wrong, I think theory is an important thing, but I don't think there's nothing, the main thing you use to listen to music is your ear, not your knowledge, you know what I mean? So it's like you should be training your ear, not your knowledge. Or you should be training your knowledge, but to have a better understanding, but you should focus more on your ear whenever you're creating music.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's kind of
yeah, I feel like theory is just a guideline, to like helps you get out of like, a sticky situation of being like, oh, I'm trying to figure out this. I have a general idea of like, oh, I can just go here, but like, but that shouldn't be the case of like taking out your ear. It should be like, oh, this sounds good. It shouldn't be, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, this is gonna be a weird analogy, but I make music the same way I cook. So like, I don't really follow a recipe necessarily when I cook. Like if I'm making shit, I don't know, like stuffed peppers or some shit. Like I know what I need. I need peppers, duh. I need, rice, beef, a shit ton of boiled water, like salt and whatever else I want to put in it, probably pasta sauce. I'm just like, okay, so I know I need like, enough rice and beef to fill this, but like I don't measure anything, not anymore. Like I did the first time just to be like, okay, I probably need more than this, more than the recipe says. But I don't know, I don't use that as a guideline anymore. It's like, yeah, it goes kind of to the ear thing. You just make what sounds good, whereas for cooking it's like make what tastes good, not what the recipe says. Like if you make a, follow the recipe exactly, and you do it for the exact amount of time, it tastes like shit, then it's not like, oh, well, I know how to cook because I followed a recipe. Like, no, you followed a recipe, great. It means you can just follow instructions. Like you can read.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't get that thinking of like, oh yeah, you don't know theory, so you're taken from this conversation. Like we don't want your information or like your input, because I've had that so many times, especially at like I used to do this thing called School of Rock, and there would be like the snooty or like quote unquote more like better or better musician kids, and they're always just like snooty because they know all this theory and all this other stuff, but like they might be able to play all this crazy shit, but at the same time it's like I've heard the music that they make and it's just god awful. I'm not trying to say I'm an amazing musician, but it's like if you're gonna be a dick, fucking back up whatever you're gonna say. Don't just be like, oh, I'm amazing but I can't write a song. It's like, fuck
Well,
you.
yeah, that's just it. Like those crazy jazz guitarists that can go like, just noodling, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, yeah, jerking off through your instrument. I can't subscribe to that type of, mentality. I don't get it. Like, that's not true. I get it because it's just, it's a bigger dick contest at that point. You're just like, oh, look what I can do. But then, a GCD song is garbage just because it doesn't, have intricacies and stuff, whatever. Quincy, do you know who Quincy Jones is?
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Yeah, he's like the dude that recorded with like Michael Jackson and like all these other jazz. Was it Michael Jackson? I think it was Michael Jackson. Anyway.
Yeah, actually, oh yeah, I've seen a couple of his interviews where he's just talking shit on people.
Yeah, because he was asked about the Beatles one time because he worked with the Beatles back when they like existed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh yeah, they're the worst musicians I've ever had to work with. And it's like, yeah, but they have like dozens of songs that are beloved by billions because they're so just A, catchy, B, they were kind of like revolutionary for the time. Like no one was really writing music quite like them. Not, once they got into like late 60s, they were making some weirder stuff.
Yeah.
And like I was gonna say they were just having fun, but I don't think up to a certain point I don't think they were anymore.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? They were just four dudes just making music instead of four musicians making, origami, like sonic origami.
Yeah. Yeah, and like I think there's a little bit of validity to what he says, because I've read bits of that interview, because he's like, I feel like he was kind of judging them based off of like, oh, like Ringo couldn't play his drums for parts and other people would have to come and record because he's a fucking idiot.
That's different.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I just think it's dumb. It's like, do your own thing. Like if you want to, like with Quincy Jones, like if you, don't shit on someone because they don't have have the same idea you have. Like either step away from the project or just like try and learn from it, because I feel like you can really, you can learn for someone who has a lot of knowledge on theory, and then you can learn from people who don't have knowledge on theory. And I feel like that's some of the best bands are like that, where there's the songwriter and then there's the the dude who's very technically proficient, like like Metallica. Like James is the songwriter, but Kirk is that really technically proficient guitar player who can like really come get those solos across.
Yeah.
I feel like they're both needed, but if you're gonna shit on it, then it's like, fuck you, dude. Well, at least I can write a fucking song.
Yeah, really though. It was like the Doors though. Fuck. I just hit my hand on the table. The Doors, the keyboard player, he was like a trained jazz musician. And then Robbie Krieger, whatever the fuck his name is, the guitar player, when they joined, he had been playing guitar for like 5 months.
Really?
and then Jim Morrison was just a whack job. And then drummer man John Densmore or something, he was just a regular drummer. I think he was jazz trained as well.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know, with that combination, they were able to make some really wacky music for the time. It's even weird now. Like, if you listen to something like, I don't know. Well, I can't say it's weird for now, because a lot of people make that kind of sad boy indie rock type stuff
Yeah.
that they were doing back in '66 and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just that mesh of, super trained versus like, yeah, he'd been playing guitar for like 5 months. And and like some of those riffs though are like super cool, like break on through the other side, like even though it's the most simple thing ever, just with the weird like boop 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 from the keyboards and stuff. It just made it, I don't know, yeah, it gave it something special.
Yeah.
I think Converge are like that as well, because Kurt is the really technical dude, and the rest of them are just like, yeah, we just kind of yell.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like that was such a, like, the talking about like the guitar player to the Doors who only played for 5 months before joining the band. Like, I feel like that was the beauty of punk rock music, is it just had that, everybody in the 80s and like late 70s were just trying to be the most proficient, amazing guitar players, and then it was just such a beautiful like slap in the face when you had the Ramones come out and they're playing 3 fucking chords throughout the whole entire song.
Yeah.
It's like the comparison of Steve Vai and BB King. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Steve Vai can play a million notes, and I can say, and I'll most likely be like, oh, cool, that's somewhat interesting. And then BB King can play like 3 notes, and I'll be like, oh my god, that was the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, because he had that, he could like sense where the like soul of the music was drifting. I sound like a fucking hippie, but the I do. It sounds like I'm gonna start talking about aligning my chakras in a minute.
I was honestly gonna say he had a soul in his yeah, he actually had soul. I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah,
he could like feel the pulse and just like, yeah, he just let the music just do the talking, I guess. I don't know. It like kind of guided him in a way. Oh my god, I sound so spiritual. I hate it.
Yeah, it's, and I feel like that's the beautiful thing about guitars. It's very spiritual, almost like a spiritual thing when you really get into it. Like, it's like a wave. Like, there'll be times where I'm playing the guitar and I'm just kind of focusing and stuff like that, and then there'll be like I'll take like when I was in a band, for example, like there would be like times where like I'm just playing the song and I'm just counting it out in my head, and then there's times where I can just let go and I have this wave where it's like, it's pretty much like an out of body experience where I'm kind of like outside of my body, just feeling the music and like watching myself play guitar, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is the coolest thing. This is why I do music.
Yeah, it's like you get kind of sucked into it. Yeah, that is the word. You just is that what you said? Get sucked into it?
I said it's kind of like a wave, yeah, and you kind of get sucked into it. Like, you get sucked into these moments, and it's like, it's very always kind of fleeting, but it's the coolest thing where it's like, I can I'm fully letting go. I'm not even focusing on playing guitar. I'm just in the musical wave, and it's really cool because you're just like locked in with you and your bandmates, and it sounds better than ever, or it sounds better than like any of the other times you practiced or played the song. It's just like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, when you get it like, not even when you get it perfect, you get like all the sounds perfect. We're just like, and yeah, you just kind of like,
yeah,
fuck me, we're making some magic here, even if it sounds like shit.
Yeah, like my first, like the first show I ever played, not in School of Rock, but like my own band.
Yeah.
That played this garage show. We practiced for like probably like a year and a half straight of just playing the songs over and over and over again before we played the show. And like we went on and we played perfectly to the point where we weren't even thinking, and it was so cool just being like able to let go and just fucking play, and like everything's working. That's the moments that like really make me continue to be a songwriter and continue to be a guitar player. It's just, besides getting like those creative juices that I have out, but just to, or I guess those are the reasons why I enjoy playing guitar more than like overall I enjoy writing music more, but like those are the moments where I'm like I really am happy when I play guitar, when I'm able to just let go in a live scenario, or even recording when you really get into it and you can just fucking play it. I don't know. The thing I like about recording is it's almost like a video game. It's like you got to play perfectly, and I love that. And then
Yeah, see, that's the speedrunning shit I was talking about earlier. Like, it's like, okay, I have to do this specific thing perfectly in order to get to like my end goal.
Yeah, and that's what I like about recording. And then that's what I like about live is those moments where you can kind of just let go. But I love the part of recording where it's like, I have to play this over and over and over again until I get it perfectly. And when I get it perfectly, it's going to be fucking awesome. And it's, it's just two different rewarding experiences, in my opinion.
Yeah, and they're polar opposites, which is funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like you need both. I don't think you can, you can do one without the other, but at the same time, I feel like to be the most fulfilled musician and songwriter, you need to do both live and recording.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. It's funny because I feel like I talked about this guy a lot. Roy Gallagher was a blues rock / just blues altogether guitar player from he died in like the 90s. Yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that. Shit. Oh yeah, it was he loved playing live. Like he loved just going completely nuts live. He'd play some of his songs and then go on for like 10 minutes because he would just get lost. But then he couldn't stand going into the studio because he hated that part of it. He's like, I don't know. He explained it in an interview at one point. He's like, he doesn't like the controlled structure of it, I guess. He likes feeling like the pulse of just like the venue and like the people and just feeling the buzz of like the amps all around him and stuff.
That's how I used to be.
Yeah.
That's what I hate about recording is the logistics and the structure of it. And like, especially with like programming drums of like clicking it in and shit like that, because it's so boring and mind numbing, and like half the time it doesn't, it's fucked up, or you don't get it the way you want it to sound and shit like that. But like with guitar, I love doing that, and I've learned to love it because of like, I just put myself in a different mind frame for it than like playing live. Yeah.
Playing live. Actually, Hendrix actually was talking about something like that back in God knows when, like 69 or something. How you get his records and it's like, wow, this is incredible. No one's playing like this. And then people look past all like the mistakes he would make on stage because they still sounded good. Like he's like, yeah, that I have no way to like practice this stuff. Like some of the impromptu stuff that he would do, like, playing like the Star Spangled Banner and all the crazy soloing stuff he'd do for like 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And he said, yeah, people don't care that I make so many mistakes because it's just a feeling you get from it, that there's soul behind it. It's not just, okay, I got to get this perfect, absolutely perfect, or else everyone's going to think I'm a big poop.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I don't know, it's just such a more rewarding experience to like see the person and you can tell they're enjoying it than seeing the person and just seeing them jerk off.
Yeah. I can't believe I just said big poop.
Because I've noticed that a lot in like, whenever I was doing School of Rock, there was a very defined difference between like me and some of the other dudes. Like I would make mistakes and stuff, but like you could tell I was enjoying it and having a good time. And then you could see other kids and they're just like, they're just fucking playing the song and they're just doing this and that and the other. It's like, what? I don't know. I'm sure they have some enjoyment from that because I guess they have to, because they would stop if they weren't. But like for me, I just can't. especially live. I just really, it's just the most magical thing of just being able to let go and fucking go for it.
Yeah, I can't get. Yeah, I'm with you. I can't get that. Just sit down like, okay, fuck, I gotta get this absolutely perfect. Because it's some of those fuck ups that like make it cooler. Like I think I might have mentioned this last time, but Kirk Hammett on Master of Puppets, there's this weird sound that happens during the solo part. It's this really high pitched squeal, and he's like, that was a complete accident, but we left it in because it sounded super cool.
Yeah. That was the other thing, is like a lot of the dudes would like learn the solos perfectly, and then then I would just wing it and be like, all right, well, I know the general key, so I'm just gonna go for it. Most of the time it sucked, but then sometimes it was like I was able to get something cool, and it was a lot more rewarding of an experience than if I just learned the solo and played it.
Yeah, I feel like certain solos just have to be played.
Yeah.
Like something like the solo to like Stairway to Heaven, or like I had another one in my head. I know I can't remember. Or like Comfortably Numb or something. No, not that's a bad example. But anyway, you know what I mean, like or like Hotel California.
Mm-hmm.
Like that solo is just iconic. That na 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 na. But I feel like some of the in between stuff you can kind of just
Exactly. I feel like if you get the key stuff down, those are like the key stuff you definitely need to get down and learn. But like overall, I feel like you should wing it and make it your own, because it's just like even if it sucks, it's still yours. I'm not just regurgitating what someone else fucking wrote. And I feel like most solos, I feel like a solo is a stream of consciousness. A lead is something written out and methodical.
Yeah. I don't know, some people write their solos, which is just baffling to me.
I
can pre-plan a bit. I can be like, okay, I got a couple like lick patterns in my head. Like, okay, I can do like a little trill here, and like I can, if I'm fast enough, I can rip up here and do a little arpeggio thing. But then, like, yeah, I can't write a solo. I don't know. I can write bits and pieces, I guess.
Yeah. When I write solos, it's usually like I kind of feel it out. Like I'll do at least for recording. If I'm doing a recorded solo, what I usually do is I'll just like start feeling it out, and then like I'll be like, oh, I like this, and then I'll play that over and over and over again until I get something else. So mine's kind of written, but it's still a lot more of like a stream of consciousness. It's just a little bit more thought out and methodical than like if I just like sat down and just wrote it. You know what I mean? It's somewhat writing, but mostly like me feeling it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's the common thing. I don't know. Someone will say down below. Oops.
Oh yeah, I definitely. If any of you got, if anyone's listening to this, but we would love to hear some of your like ideas and concepts of like what you guys think about what we're talking about and what your guys' point of view on a lot of it is. That would be really cool. Get a different opinion than our own.
It'll be there'll be someone down below. It'll be what's his name? Steve Vai commenting, "Fuck this fucking podcast." Fuck the two bitch ass little boys who don't know music theory.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I don't know. Nothing wrong against Steve Vai. Like, I actually like some of his music, and I think some of his stuff is cool. It's just like, it's just two different things, really. Like.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah, it's just like I like it, but at the same time, it's not rewarding to me. It's like fast food. It's like a fast food and like a fine dish. Like a fucking crazy soloing is super cool in the moment, but it gives you nothing at the end. But like with like a really fine cuisine, it's good, and then it gives you something good afterwards. You know what I mean?
Like kid cuisine.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Let's see
It's
that
hitting about
again.
it's hitting about an hour. You wanna call it an episode?
Oh yeah. Okay. I don't even notice half the time.
Me
How do we get on like the dickhead snooty people? I don't even remember how that conversation started.
either. This is, I don't know. It kind of just became a stream of just a stream of just fucking talking. It's just I feel like we're finally starting to get into a conversation now instead of like just reading off concepts.
Yeah. I mean, they always kind of evolve into there's no devolving going around here. This is intellectual what's the word? Converse? No, that's not right. Converse, no, not sneakers.
Conversation. No, not conversation. I don't know. Smart word. Some smart word.
Shit. You'll have Merriam-Webster commenting the definition of some fucking SAT word I don't know.
But anyways, I've been Brian.
Been Andrew. This has been episode 3. Hopefully these will be in order. And so I won't be talking about Deafheaven before I talk about Converge, which was like a month prior.
Anyways, later, y'all.
All right. Peace out.